Good evening, everyone. Welcome to BYJU'S exam prep. So, almost all these examinations of the season are done, except CMAT, which is the next exam in the radar, and the notification is out. Okay, the date is not out yet. Maybe March end or maybe somewhere in April it might be held. So you will be getting the date soon, but at least you know the notification is out. The registrations have started. So the examination is going to be conducted soon. Okay, so very likely like last year, which when it was held in March end, this year also you may expect the examination in March end, right? So today we are going to do is uh, know what is CMAT 2022 pattern, right, and how it is going to be different, and the innovation and entrepreneurship thing. A lot of you have been talking about it, that what is innovation and entrepreneurship. Uh, some of you might have written it last year. I gave the examination and I had opted for that in order to understand that what this section is all about, what type of questions that you can get in the examination, etc. Okay, so good evening all once again. Welcome to the session. So the registrations had started, okay, and it began on 16th of February until 17th of March. You have days for registration, so you have enough time to register for the examination. And in case you will have any errors in the form, so they will give you 2 days to correct that also. So admit card and date of examination will be announced later. I believe that they will. Last year they release the admit cards within a few days away from the examination. So maybe in the fourth week they might release like 21st, maybe after 23rd they might release 23rd onward. They might release the admit card, and end of March might be the date for the examination, or the first week of April, very likely. Okay. Now, there has been a slight change in the pattern. We will look at it. So earlier, it used to be a 180-minute paper with 100 questions. Last year, they experimented. They came up with a new section, Innovation and Entrepreneurship, and that was an optional section. Those who appeared for that section were given 210 minutes, and there were 25 questions in that section as well. Okay. Now, this year, they are going to have conducted in two shifts, 3 hours each. So that means that the section is not optional but a mandatory section. Okay, so this is what they have released when you go to application, when you go to the application form, right? So you can download this. There is a download brochure option. So when you go to the brochure, it gives you this as the examination pattern. So instead of 4 sections, earlier there used to be 4 sections. Now there are 5 sections. Okay, so now the other sections remain the same, right? Quant, NDI, logical reasoning, language comprehension, general awareness also. Innovation is entrepreneurship is a new thing for most of the people, right? Many of the people might not have written it last year. Okay. So last year also there was last year it was an optional thing. Now it is mandatory plugged into this. So now you see that like if you talk about this paper, now it is earlier it was 75 aptitude based and 25 knowledge based, right, till 2021. Now in 2022 it is 60% aptitude based, 40% knowledge based. Okay, so obviously now the scores are going to vary a lot. Okay, like see, quant and DI easy, super easy, except one or two questions which might be tricky. Generally the paper is easy. The why I say is easy is like if your concepts are clear, right? You need to have good conceptual clarity in this. If your concepts are clear, if you have slow speed, like there are some people who know the concepts but take time to solve questions, they are not able to do well in examinations, like let us say IAFT where speed is required, snap where that you have 60 questions in 60 minutes. Now if you are very slow in doing maths but your concepts are crystal clear, okay, so then you can easily do this section. Same goes with logical reasoning also, because there is enough time to solve this. Right? If your language is good, right, you know grammar well, you know you are good with verbal ability, if you are strong in these sections, right, speed wise maybe slow but conceptual clarity is good, then you can do well in this. Okay, so for language I would recommend that, like if you are not yet prepared, see, vocabulary you cannot build very rapidly, right, but at least you can practice grammar, do grammar things well, because in grammar, like you have to just remember rules, right, and you cannot afford to make mistakes in that. Okay, now general awareness, if you talk about this thing, in this case it is very random. They ask very random stuff. So we shall have sessions for that as well. But very random questions, many unpredictable questions. Now, innovation and entrepreneurship is a new section. So we will discuss that. What are the things that you need to cover for that? Okay. All right. So these are the list of topics, right? Syllabus and all. I'll just tell you, right? So it is like any other MBA examination, right? It's a typical MBA exam pattern. Right, you have arithmetic, you have algebra, you have geometry, number system, modern math. In arithmetic also percentage, profit loss, right, average ratio, proportion, etc., time, speed, distance. These all topics which are asked, which you prepare for all exams, that remains common, right? So there is no something, there is nothing which is unique in this, right? You do not have to study anything extra. So if you are prepared for other examinations, which I'm sure, I don't think there is anyone who would be just writing CMAT, right? You must have appeared in other examinations also. Okay, so in that case, your quant is almost done, right? You just need to revise a few things, right? Just take mock test and all. You are done with quant. Data interpretation, also table, bar chart, line graph, these kind of questions are asked. Not many questions, maybe 2 to 3 questions or maybe 5 questions, right? And the thing is, in data interpretation, it is basic calculations. Okay, it's not like CAT DI wherein they ask you logical things, right? So that is about quant. Then if we talk about the LR topics, LR, they're mostly, it is individual in nature. Like in CAT, you have, so let us say some person appeared for CAT. In CAT, you have group questions, right? 4 to 6 questions set. सेट में आते हैं क्वेश्चन, 4 या 6 क्वेश्चन का सेट होता है. इसमें मोस्टली इंडिविजुअल होंगे, एक्सेप्ट लीनियर अरेंजमेंट, सर्कुलर अरेंजमेंट, मैट्रिक्स बेस्ड अरेंजमेंट, where you get a set of 2 to 3 questions. But most of the questions will be individual. Now in reasoning, you have analytical reasoning, which includes these blood relation, coding, decoding, direction, distance, order ranking, analogy, etc., etc. Apart from that, there are some things about, there is verbal reasoning also, like you have in other examinations like SNAP, wherein questions on cause, effect, statement, argument, strong and weak argument, statement, conclusion, assumptions, inference, etc. are asked in this, right? So that is also a part of logical reasoning, right? So if you talk about analytical reasoning versus logical reasoning, uh, maybe we can say that 60-40, and there are 1 or 2 questions on non-verbal reasoning, that is visual reasoning. Hardly you will get 1 or 2 questions max. Right, so if I say that, like it will be around 11 to 12 questions you can expect from analytical reasoning. Okay, then you can have 7 to 8 questions in verbal reasoning, or even lesser than that. It may be like 5-6 questions, since there are only 25 questions. So maybe 12 to 13, 5 to 6 questions, and then 1 or 2 questions on non-verbal reasoning also, right? So that is going to be the structure, right? So of course you must have prepared for this. If you have prepared for SNAP, then you should have covered all these things. Okay, and some non-verbal reasoning, like verbal reasoning you have in NMAT, like NMAT and SNAP kind of verbal reasoning is asked. If you have appeared for these examinations, right, the type of questions you had, same category of questions you get in this, right? That is the level also similar. This is again easy section. Now coming to the language comprehension part, there is reading comprehension. Now, reading comprehension is very random. Okay, CMAT is known to have very random pattern. It's not a very structured thing. Okay, so if we talk about this, then reading comprehension, last year there was one slot in which there were 14 questions. In another slot, there were just 5 questions on reading comprehension, right? So it is very, very unpredictable. In 2 slots, you might have different kind of paper, right? So that's they what they do is they normalize the scores. Then apart from that, you have jumbled paragraphs. You call it parajumble. Then error spotting, sentence correction, fill in the blanks, antonyms, synonyms, idioms and phrases, different use of words, one word substitution, word meanings, foreign language words, etc. are all tested. So basically, if you want to break it into parts, one is reading comprehension, one is grammar, wherein they ask you to spot the errors, right, or ask you to fill in the blanks, or they might ask you about figures of speech, right, and sentence correction, correct sentence and all. And third is vocab, synonym, antonyms, right, idioms and phrases. So these are the things, three broad categories. The RCs you must be reading, okay, and you might have prepared for, if you prepared for CAT, you must have done the RC part, okay. What is important is make sure that you are good with grammar also. So this is something new that you need to focus on, and in the coming days you can just focus on grammar, because at least grammar takes very less time, and like if you are well prepared you can get all the questions right. Okay, so that is something that we have for this. General awareness, as I said, that it is very random, but there are certain things which are generally tested. Okay, so if you talk about current affairs, international and national affairs, what is happening globally, what is happening nationally, okay, as recent as, let us say, within 15 days. Okay, so let's say you should rate about 15 days to 6 months. Most of the questions will lie in this framework itself. Let us say there are 10 questions, so out of 10, 8 will be in this range, right? So better to prepare current affairs for this duration, right? Then business economy related questions, sports related questions, awards and honors, obituaries, some people who passed away recently. For example, today, if you appeared for TISNET, there was a question asked on Pandit Birju Maharaj. Okay, so that was one of the questions, and they do ask about famous personalities who passed away recently. So maybe you might get a question based on Lata Mangeshkar. Okay, then you have appointments. Appointments could be corporate appointments, government appointments. Then science and technology related questions. Let us say someone sent some satellite to space, right? Some new technology being developed somewhere, right? Some new thing being discovered, etc. In static you have history, right? It could be modern, medieval, ancient, right? So anything could be asked. Okay, then geography, like it could be India plus global, so I would rather say that global geography be prepared with, like where are different seas, right? What are like which are the countries, uh, what are the islands in Red China Sea, or maybe all those things. Okay, where are how different seas are connected, how continents are separated, which ocean is present where, between which continents, etc., etc. Okay, then economy, business related things, then things related to brands and all, right? Some brand ambassadors, some tagline, etc. Indian political structure. Okay, Indian political structure, basically how is the government formed, like parts of the structure like judiciary, you have executive, legislature, right? So all those things, how are political structures. Then maybe related to some, like who was the first, a list of first also in that, included in that. Science and technology, like some discoveries by some people, or some science related things, right, related to human bodies, okay, etc. Then sport related things, if you talk about the static part, there are terms related to sports, like these are different terminologies used in sports. They ask books and authors. Books and authors could be static as well as current also. right? So for current, also read about the recently launched books. Then important days. Now this is a part of, I would say that current affairs as well. In important days, they ask about themes. Right? What was the theme of this day being celebrated? Or it might be a static question. When is this day celebrated? Then art and culture related questions. It could be a different, let us say, folk dance of different places, right? It could be some painting of different states, some food of different states. So culture related to different states, right? In TISNET also you must have seen questions on that. Then national, some places of importance like national parks, airports, stadiums, right? Some other structures, some monuments, okay, which are present, which are famous, like bridges. All these things are asked in general awareness topics. Okay, and some of the current affairs which we also discussed, that one could be like Olympics, that could be important. Then this Russia-Ukraine thing which is happening, okay, a lot of buzz on that, so questions related to that. Then there will be something like you have those uh, your this thing, India-Bangladesh relations, so you can get questions on that also. Now in geography, I forgot to mention that capital comes as a part of geography. Then currency is, these are also something that you should cover for the static portion. So these are some broad areas. Okay, there will be many questions which will be very random. Okay, which so it is endless, isn't it? Like no matter how much you study, like today people saw in TISNET very random things came up. The CMAT, though, definitely for sure it has very random questions. So these things, if you cover, you have good chance of getting things done, right? And GK is something that cannot be built immediately. Like if you have worked in the past, read things in the past, then it would be easy for you. Okay. Now innovation and entrepreneurship. Let's talk about this. What is innovation and entrepreneurship section? And what are the different type of topics that you must cover. Okay, there is no syllabus as such given for that, but like based on our understanding of the topics, right? What is innovation? What are its types? Okay, then what are the different stages of innovation? What is innovation framework? How do you manage innovation? Risks related to innovations, right? Then there would be some like important inventions. And so do read about who discovered, let us say, different things, steam engine, television, right, radio, or some other things, right? Where was it discovered, etc. Then related to entrepreneurship, role and importance of entrepreneur, types of entrepreneurs like women into entrepreneurs. Okay, then how do entrepreneurs bring change to the society? Right, entrepreneurship challenges, legal structure of startups. Last year there were good number of questions on legal structure of startups. Right, how many founders are there? Right, so based on that, right, what is LLP? Okay, those kind of things, like how startups are done, funding of startups, right? What is angel investor? So startup related terms, angel investors, what is seed funding, right? All these terms, what is valuation and all those things. If you watched Shark Tank India, maybe many of the things you might have learned from there as well. Right? What is valuation, right? How are startups funded, right? All these things, like terminologies. So what you can do is, I mean, you can search for terminologies related to startups. Okay, you will just get some information and then read about that. Okay, then role of, now this is also important, right? Government schemes. There were quite a good number of questions on government schemes for startups, right? What is Startup India? What is Stand Up India? Right? There's a scheme called Stand Up India, right? Mudra scheme, right? Or like which are for I mean government schemes are quite important. Which are the ones for women entrepreneurs? Which are the ones for rural entrepreneurs? Okay, what is the different amount of loan, right? So about these schemes, that how much loan do they provide, right? Which target, what is the target audience? Which is the industry they work for? Okay, so I mean, you can search for this government scheme related to businesses, right? Some things related to MSMEs. Okay, so different government schemes, they might ask you that how they help in this, right? How do bank provide loans, right? I mean, this thing that loans provided by banks, etc. Okay, so those are the things. Then about the companies also, marketing and growth strategy, right? Do read about the different marketing strategies, what are the different growth strategies and all. Okay, so that is something that you can expect in this section. So we shall have some sessions on YouTube, and wherein I'll discuss some of the things, and you please attend those. And I mean, that would be just some sort of uh, like my understanding of the subject from the past experience as well. I appeared in the last year, so I'll discuss past year questions, right? We'll discuss past year paper plus some some sort of important topics we shall cover in those sessions, right? So I'm sure you would be wanting to have some sessions on that. So don't worry, we'll have weekly sessions for innovation and entrepreneurship on our channel. We'll discuss those things. Okay, so that is the structure of this. Okay, so for this I mean, as I showed you these topics, start reading about these things, especially related to startups, right? Terminologies, terms related to startup, right? You should know what is a unicorn, right? What is seed A funding, right? What is angel investor? What is venture capitalist? How startups are funded? So all those things, different types of companies. What is limited liability program? What are ESOPs? Okay, so I mean, you can just Google things about startups, different terms related to startups, fundings of startups, right? How startups function, government schemes, as I said that. Then types of entrepreneurs, right? Types of startups, different types of startups. Okay, and all those things, and similarly things related to innovation. So those are the broad things. It is also a sort of general awareness, but primarily focused on entrepreneurships, okay, and innovations. Okay, so this may be there might be some current affairs also. Like last year, there was a question that which of the following Indian cities is among the top 5 fastest growing startup cities, right? So that was an easy one. Bangalore was the right answer to that. That is the fastest growing thing. So like GK also, you will have to read this section also, and these are some broad topics that you need to cover in this. Okay, and if you are preparing for CAT 22, you may enroll with us on this thing. Okay, I hope you found this session valuable. The type of the syllabus you got, that what are the things that you need to cover for this examination. 3 sections, I'm sure you are already done with, right? You must have done quant, you must have done uh, reasoning, you must have done English, but at the same time prepare well for these 2 sections also, because these 2 sections are the ones that are going to create your difference in the examination. And because most of the people would be fine in the 3 sections, like most of the good people, right? Those who have good conceptual clarity will be able to do good. But it is about these sections. 40% is a good number. Even if you get, let us say, 20 marks, 20 questions combined, or let's say 80 marks in these 2 sections combined, that is a very great score, right? So out of those 40 questions, if you are able to get somewhere around 20 plus, that is a very big boost. There is no sectional cutoff, but you need to get an overall good score. Okay, so decision making in entrepreneurship, yes. So something related to that may be asked in this. Okay, so yes, so that's what I said, that like yes, last year there was an RC also in I&E. Okay, so they might give you a passage also and ask questions from that. Okay, so that's it for today's session. So we will host some sessions related to I and E, wherein we'll discuss some questions, some important points, and questions from the past year's paper, so that you get a better understanding of it and get some preparation for the examination. So thanks for watching this video. Have a great day ahead. Goodbye.